So hey guys, it's Sheri Ann Richerson from Experimental Homesteader, Exotic Gardening, and SheriAnnRicherson.com. And I wanted to do a continuation of yesterday's vlog. I thought I would do that live. I've received a lot of comments and a lot of questions. First of all, what I read where I got my diagnosis was in the online portal. That's what I was so upset about, because I didn't feel like that should be put where I could have read it before a doctor talked to me. I have not been back to the gynecologist since the biopsy. And like I said, the cancer center did not have any of that information. I have been told by two other gynecologists, because we found some fibroids and things before. I am not a candidate for surgery, for any kind of gynecological surgery. I almost died when I gave birth to my twins. The two single births that I had, my girls, were very difficult, and I had a lot of problems. I was high risk on all three of my pregnancies. And basically, the one gynecologist I talked to said that C-sections were very simple surgery. They were nothing like doing a hysterectomy or anything like that, which is a lot more complicated. And he said he wouldn't touch me because I just flat out, his opinion was I would not make it through the surgery. Secondly, I was diagnosed around the time of our 20-year class reunion with second-stage breast cancer. It, too, was diagnosed from a mammogram and an ultrasound. They rushed me into surgery literally within a couple days. I mean, I was diagnosed the end of 1 week, and the beginning of the next week, I was in surgery. And everything happened so fast. At the time, I felt like surgery was the way to go, so we did. And when they got everything out and they sent it all in, I didn't have cancer. It was nothing, just a cyst of some kind. And that really upset me, because had I known that, had they not misdiagnosed me, I would not have allowed the surgery to happen. I still have a lot of pain from that surgery. I'm sure you ladies that have had breast cancer surgery know exactly what I'm talking about. The pain comes and goes, and I feel like that was a complete waste of my time. That was a complete waste of insurance money. A totally misdiagnosis. So I don't have a lot of faith in doctors. And after what happened with Jerry, with his cancer, that just really sealed the deal for me, that you can fight it all you want, but why do I want to go through surgery, potentially chemo and radiation, be sick, and deal with all the things that conventional medicine would put me through, when I don't believe that's the answer? I just don't believe it. I believe the herbs, the essential oils, the natural ways are the way to go. And, you know, I'm sorry if that upsets anybody, but that's my belief system. And at this point in my life, I'm tired of trying to please everybody else and do what everybody else thinks I should do, because, well, some people do go through all of that and they live a little bit longer. Sometimes maybe it goes into complete remission, but hear me say remission. Okay? If that's your choice, that's fine. It's not my choice. The Other big issue that I have is my husband's family is fairly upset that he doesn't have any children and that his name is not going to be carried on. And, you know, I'm almost 50. I'm sorry he waited so late to marry me. And I'm sorry he didn't have any children at the normal age that people have children. I know some people do have children older. But my twins were born when I was 23, and they were the last birth that I had. And I have no desire to have any more children. Not only because of my age, but because how do I know at this age that I would even live to see my kids grown? There is a very good chance, since I've already had multiples, that I would have multiples again. And from my grandchildren, I know that, you know, when you're 20, you grab those car seats and carriers and diaper bags and you just go. You just don't even think about it. It's what you do. When you get in your 40s, you know, that stuff gets kind of heavy. I mean, you know, let's just face it. It's not the same as when you were younger. And there's a time and place for everything. And like I said, I'm really sorry that he waited so long to get married. But that wasn't my choice. That was his choice. And people need to accept that was his choice. I already had my kids a long time ago. They're all grown and they have kids of their own now. Well, 2 do and 2 don't. But I did not post yesterday's video to make anyone feel sorry for me. I posted it because I felt like I should let people know what was going on. I've just had so many questions. And I guess this whole thing is just really hard, but like I said, I've made my decision. It is my decision to make. I'm okay with whatever the outcome is. Good or bad. I have requested, and I'm going to say this in this video, nobody's in the house but me, so I'm not being coerced into saying this. I have requested that when something does happen, and sooner or later it will, because let's face it, we don't all live forever. Okay, I'm not saying anything is going to happen like tomorrow or something, but eventually we all die. And my request is that I do not want an obituary. I do not want a viewing. I do not want a funeral. I do not want a headstone. I want to be cremated, and I want that to be that. And I have a lot of reasons for feeling this way. One of the biggest is the way things went down when Jerry died really hit me hard. Still bothers me. I felt very alone. I hate that I wasn't allowed to go to his funeral. And the way things went down in the hospital at the end, when I should have been in the room with him, but was forced to sit in the hallway, because if I was in the room, I was subjected to nasty comments that I should not have had to put up with. And I did request to have time alone with him, and that lasted for about 5 minutes. That was it. And then, like I said, everything that happened afterwards, it wasn't just the funeral. It was the people that did call wanted to put some kind of blame on me for this. The one person that showed up at the door, and instead of the way that they questioned why I wasn't at the funeral, really bothered me, because it was more accusational than inquiring. The months after he died were very, very difficult, even though I did go ahead and get married. There were many, many reasons behind that, and I don't want to go into all of that. But I had also known Jeff a long time, like I said, since we were 12. So it wasn't just some random dude off the street that I picked up, you know, it wasn't anything like that. And I did what I had to do to survive and to move on. And if people can't understand that, then I'm sorry. But when you get in a survival situation where you have to make some choices pretty quick, you do what you need to do. And I don't regret marrying Jeff. I'm not saying that. You know, I don't. I wanted to marry Jeff when we were 12. And he knows that. Everybody that knows us knows that. So, even though I was very upset that Jerry died and very hurt and just a whole range of emotions, angry, I'm glad he didn't suffer. I really am. You know, it went very quickly, and it was very, very much a shock, but he didn't suffer. And I know from watching him those last few weeks, he would not have been happy had he lived the way that he had changed. He couldn't remember passwords. He couldn't remember how to use his cell phone. I took a laptop up to him and he couldn't use it. That was not Jerry. And anybody that knew Jerry knows that. So, I know that it was for the best, even though it wasn't what I wanted. And, like I said, I don't really expect anyone to understand why I am choosing to do things the way that I'm choosing to do them, but it is my choice. I am perfectly of sound mind, people. When I go back to the cancer center, I will sit and listen to what they have to say. But again, they're not going to change my mind on this. So, you know, and like I said, I just don't have faith in the ultrasound anyway. I just don't. It's, you know, when they first found the anemia, Dr. Bendelay said it was colon cancer. He was sure it was colon cancer. We did the colonoscopy. Sorry, you guys know what I'm trying to say. It was not colon cancer. They don't know where I'm bleeding or why I'm bleeding or why I have anemia or anything else. I have some suspicions on why. And so one of the things that I am doing is I've got Jeff convinced that we need to go back to the grass-fed beef, the grass-fed pork, the grass-fed chicken, and back to the organic food. Because I'm a very firm believer that the Roundup and the other chemicals that these farmers put on their crops are not good for us. You know, you think about it. A plant takes up by its roots what's in the ground, and that goes into the leaves and into whatever that plant produces. You may not know this, but there are certain plants that you can plant in poisoned ground, grow them, and if you feed that crop to someone, it will poison them. Now think about that for a moment. Okay, this is factual proven. If you're growing your crop in ground that has been treated with Roundup or any other chemical, we're not just picking on Roundup here, okay? But you grow your crop in that chemical ground, how do you think it got resistant to that chemical? That was done in a lab. That chemical was injected into that seed to create the resistance. Resistance does not mean it's not taking it up. You'll never convince me of that. And when we put poisons in our body, regardless of the kind of poison it is, alcohol, drugs, food that hasn't been grown properly, we're poisoning our own bodies. And yes, I understand that possibly an insect could go to a GMO crop and pollinate and bring some of that pollen over to my organic crop and pollinate it. Yes, corn is wind pollinated, so again, you have that issue you can deal with. Do things cross? Yes, they do. Can things in the soil be washed downstream by water? Yes, it can. But I believe that you have to do the best that you can do with what you grow and try to be as natural and organic as possible. And I've watched some of the footage from Europe where the GMO crops were for a long time. They're now banned over there. And what it has done to the ground is really, really scary. Now, think about that ground as our bodies. Just think about that. So that's where I'm coming from, saying that I'm not going to do the chemicals. I'm going to do this naturally. And I'm not going to opt for surgery. I'm not going to opt for any of that. We are going to pray. We are going to stay positive, and we're going to use the natural methods that God gave us. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I really hope that clarifies some things. And again, thank you for all the comments and stuff. I hope all of you have a fantastic day.